and welcome to the Scottish Building Society Scottish Women's Premier League. We're live this evening from Broadwood as top of the table Glasgow City host fourth place Hibernian in what's a significant match as for the first time in 14 months. Both teams have fans back inside the stadium. It's also an important match as the race at the top of the table continues with Glasgow City on track for their 14th league title in a row. Hibernian, meanwhile, are looking to get back to winning ways following their midweek defeat by Rangers. Now, at half-time, we'll hear from Glasgow City CEO Laura Montgomery and the importance of having fans back and what it means for the league. Now, there is also another live match on just now on BBC Alba as Rangers host Celtic. It is 1-1 going into half-time. But let's get to today's match. I'll pass you over to our commentary team of Polly McDonald and Stuart Mitchell.
Thanks, Iona. Glasgow City head coach Scott Booth makes 6 changes to the side that extended their unbeaten run on Wednesday night away to Motherwell. In come Lee Alexander in nets, Julia Mullin and Zanetta Wine on either side of the defence, Hayley Lauder in the midfield, and Ode Fulitadilu and Priscilla Chinchilla start in attack as well. For Hibernian, head coach Dean Gibson makes 1 change to the side that lost out against Rangers midweek. Out is Shannon Leishman and in comes Carla Boyce, who has 4 league goals to her name this season. Keep an eye on Amy Gallagher, who has 6 league goals to her name this season, where Hibernian will look to pose a threat to today's hosts. It's one of the biggest fixtures in Scottish women's football in recent times as 2 decorated rivals go head to head. Once again, is Glasgow City against Hibernian. There may be a larger gap in the table than we're used to between both sides, but certainly from recent fixtures, Polly McDonald, there's been a couple of close games between the sides this season.
Yeah, there certainly has, and I think, this afternoon we can expect something very, very similar. Stuart?
Having a look at the Hibernian side coming out onto the field of play. They were very unlucky against Rangers on Wednesday night. The 3-0 scoreline maybe didn't have a true reflection on the way the game went.
No, I think, for me, I thought Hibernian defended very well for large parts of the game, but unfortunately, conceded vital goals from set plays, so they'll be looking to tighten up defensively in terms of set plays against them today.
For Glasgow City, you mentioned 6 changes, and such is the depth in Scott Booth's side. But looking at the changes, is there anyone that you highlight, Polly McDonald, that may be the biggest threat to Hibernian this afternoon?
I think probably I would potentially agree that Fulitadilu back in the starting lineup has been a huge threat for Glasgow City across this last round of fixtures, and I think I'm sure that Hibernian will have identified that she potentially would be in that starting 11 today.
2 very familiar faces for either side. Joe Love, the captain of Glasgow City, Joelle Murray, the captain of Hibernian, as the teams switch ends here at Broadwood. A big 90 minutes ahead of us after today. Only 3 games left in the SWPL 1 season, and a big afternoon ahead in that title challenge up at the top end of the table. Scott Booth looking to extend Glasgow City's unbeaten run in the league to 11 games at the end of this afternoon. And obviously a big game also in play as it stands over in Glasgow. Dean Gibson won't have too much of a focus on all of that. He just wants his side to be rewarded for some impressive performances recently. And as we said, they've put up a close fight against Glasgow City in recent games this season already. A 3-2 win for Glasgow City after Hibernian mounted a late comeback here at Broadwood last year, and then 2-1 in a midweek fixture just a few weeks ago over in the capital. And it will be Hibernian and Ailey Adams, the striker, to get us underway. Pauline, as we get to the crucial end of the season, how will the players be feeling specifically on the host this afternoon, Glasgow City?
I think it's an extremely exciting fixture, and I'm sure that's how the players will be looking upon it. Hibernian looking to potentially build for next season was Dean Gibson's kind of words on Wednesday evening, and I think for Glasgow City it's a must-win 3 points for them if they want to retain that 14th consecutive title.
We saw head coach Dean Gibson earlier as the game is underway, and he will just be, as I said earlier, looking for his players to get rewarded. They've been very unlucky in the games against the top 3 sides so far in the league this season.
Yeah, they have. It's been, really tight results and fine margins, and I think, the situation that Hibs are in at this moment in time is they don't tend to create maybe as many attacking chances as the top three teams, and have struggled to maybe convert the opportunities that they have had in these big games.
Amy Gallagher losing out possession for today's visitors, but the referee Ross Hardy blows for the early free kick in Glasgow City's direction. An opportunity for the home side to go on an early attack. He's had a number of changes, a lot of goal scoring firepower throughout this Glasgow City side. There's Janine van Veek's pass just a little bit behind Zanetta Wine. There's captain Joe Love. Now Jenna Clark, who's moved into defence more regularly after Arna Sif Askrimsdottir has departed Glasgow City at the end of her loan spell. Notley picking up in the middle for Hibernian. Leah Eddy trying to peel away from Fulatadilu. Good job from Amy Muir keeping the ball in play. That's a dangerous one across the edge of the area. You don't want to give Chinchilla a chance like that, but a good save from Emily Much early on, and that'll be good for the young goalkeeper to get a save under her belt. Hibs now looking to go on the attack after that save. Long ball looking for Carla Boyce, just a little bit heavy, and will run through to Lee Alexander in goal for Glasgow City. Just going back to that chance, Pauline, it's going to be a tough job in any case against Glasgow City. You don't want to give the ball away like that across your own penalty area.
Yeah, I think just kind of trying to find her feet in the game, and just a little bit sloppy, and maybe lacked a little bit of awareness there. But like you say, you don't want to put chances like that on a plate for Chinchilla.
Love finds Berlin, high ball looking for Fulatadilu, but Much can collect. There's Rachel Boyle, who's been sitting in a bit more of a defensive position at times this season. Some experience at the back alongside Joelle Murray. And here is Ailey Adams on the attack. Morrison to her right, looks for the through ball to Amy Gallagher. She will need some support in the area. Cleared away by Mullin. And that's good signs for Hibernian, just nobody in the right space to pick up the cross in.
Yeah, just maybe lacking numbers in the box at that situation there, but really good work by young Ailey Adams holding the play up and having the awareness to try and play the ball through and behind there. Good opportunity for Hibernian.
First corner, Hibernian's direction. There's Joelle Murray on the left of your screen alongside Carla Boyce. Some movement at the back. High towards the back post, a free header, headed away just in front of the goalkeeper. Might drop again, but City will try a quick counter. Fulatadilu looking for Chinchilla. Could be a 3-on-3 here for Glasgow City. Ball angle through for Fulatadilu. Much comes off her line and manages to get there. But already in the first couple of minutes, looking like an entertaining game with both sides going for it early on, Pauline.
Yeah, it certainly does. I think Leah Eddy makes good contact from that corner situation, but then we see the pace and the energy of Glasgow City counter-attacking there, and you know, it's good reading of the game by Emily Much in goal.
Up towards Ailey Adams, Notley in there with the header on in front. Colette Kavanagh will pick up the ball, number 11 for Hibernian. Back to Captain Murray, and now Boyle. Looking for Kavanagh again. Glasgow City will take over. Fulton. Love. You can see Janine van Veek with the ball. Hibernian just getting players behind in two banks of green in their own half. We'll try and make it difficult for Glasgow City to work through that this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned it earlier on, Stuart, that, you know, on Wednesday's game against Rangers, the defensive shape of Hibernian, when Rangers was in possession, was very, very good and limited them to very few chances.
Lauder giving the ball away. Kavanagh waits on the run from Morrison and plays a lovely pass forward. Opportunity for Hibernian here. Morrison trying to work her way past Wine. Left back does superbly to get back and deny her any way through.
Good battle in the wide area there, but I'd like to see Kirsty Morrison maybe be a little bit more confident and direct in that situation rather than slowing the play down for Hibernian.
You can see Glasgow City just setting up in front of the throw, not allowing any short options. Hibernian may be forced to go long here. Gallagher making the run on the left, Morrison on the right, and the ball will immediately switch over to the home side. Priscilla Chinchilla, 7 goals this season, on fantastic form recently. Someone that you've been very impressed with in the last few matches, certainly, Pauline.
Sorry, who was that, Stuart?
Persia Chinchilla.
Yeah, definitely. I think she plays with real intensity and extremely tenacious out of possession as well, and has been a really key signing for Glasgow City.
Jenna Clark. Cut out by Amy Muir. Clark in there again. Gallagher goes to ground. Love lifting it forward. Out of play for the Hibernian throw. Scott Booth said he thought Stuart Hall's Motherwell were excellent on Wednesday in the 4-2 win that Glasgow City picked up against Motherwell. Was expecting a difficult game, and he certainly got that, but Glasgow City did well to react after conceding the 2 goals. Julia Millin with the throw for Chinchilla. Former Hibs player Lauren Davidson trying to battle away for the ball. But the away side come out with it. Can Morrison get there? Maybe a little too heavy.
It's a good switch of play by Ellis Notley there, out of pressure, but unfortunately Morrison just unable to get her first touch on the ball and keep it in possession.
Van Veek for Fulton. Jenna Clark points to where she wants the pass. High looking for Lauren Davidson. Boyle tracked the flight of the ball perfectly. Kavanagh loses out. Hayley Lauder. Here's Davidson. Going on the charge, well cut out by Kirsty Morrison. Joel Murray looking for some options. Just has to go up the line, but it works out well. Adams.
Good pass out of possession there again by Joel Murray, and again good work from young Ailey Adams, holding the ball in tight and maintaining possession for Hibernian. Maybe something they didn't manage to do quite as well on Wednesday evening against Rangers.
Joe Love featured in every league game this season. Passes on to Fulton, now on to Clark. Chinchilla looking for Millin, can't get the ball through. Good work from Carla Boyce. No way through, so turn back to use Ellis Notley in midfield. Notley has the ball again at the moment. Boyce once more.
It's actually a good pattern of play there by Hibernian, but unfortunately Amy Gallagher just is unable to read that final pass, but definitely better in possession from Hibernian than we've potentially seen on Wednesday evening.
Approaching the 10-minute mark. It's been a lot of battling just in the middle of the field, a lot of show strength from both sides. You know, obviously we spoke at the start about how this game is 2 names we're very used to seeing competitively going against each other in league chases, cup competitions and finals, semi-finals. And Hibernian looking to shock Glasgow City at the moment. Another corner and an opportunity for the defence to step forward in the penalty area.
Yeah, and they'll take a lot of confidence from the opportunity they gained from the last set play. So yeah, another opportunity for Hibs, but just based on what you were saying earlier as well, Stuart, you know, for Hibernian, they really want to make sure that they finish up 4th, and with Spartans winning today, it's key that they take something from this afternoon's game.
Boyle's corner low, sliced away, and we'll go over the other end for another corner, the 3rd so far for Hibernian. Just saw earlier a chain of green and white getting ready at the front of the penalty area. A couple of things possibly worked on the training ground from Dean Gibson. He was unhappy about the way his side defended set pieces on Wednesday. Just a couple of mistakes that slipped up against Rangers. A chance for Amy Muir to send in a delivery and Hibernian to capitalise on a set piece. Moved away by Van Veek. Chinchilla tries to take it down. Amy Muir with another opportunity to try and get the delivery in here. High towards the back, Morrison hanging around. A bit of space there for the cross to come in at the back. That was a good idea from Hibernian.
Yeah, it definitely was. I actually thought she was maybe looking to take on the shot there, Amy Muir, but yeah, unfortunately slightly overhit there and possession conceded back to Glasgow City.
Line for Love. Van Veek. Jenna Clark now. Ball forward, Fulatadilo's thinking about the battle. She wins. Player goes down for Glasgow City. And the hand raised from the referee. The free kick will go Hibernian's way. Julia Millin just on top of the ball and didn't allow Hibernian to play there, says referee Ross Hardy.
I think that decision's correct when you see it back there, Stuart.
Julia Millin, tenacious appetite defending, excellent going forward. Those are the words Scott Booth has used to describe her. Didn't quite pay off for her up in attack there. Amy Gallagher bursting through the centre with the ball. Boyle for Adams, gets the foot in first. Referee has a look, awards the free kick. That was good play there from Ailey Adams, just getting in front of the defence and getting the touch on the ball.
Yeah, I think you can see that that's probably something that Hibernian have potentially spoken about and worked on since Wednesday, but obviously the pitch facilitates that they can play potentially more effectively through the lines than maybe the surface at Pennycook on Wednesday evening.
Rachel Boyle stands over the ball. Looking for Amy Muir. Fulton just managed to get to that. Chinchilla clears. Motley forward into an area. Hibs still have it, but Carla Boy's pass not on the same wavelength as Muir, who thought about the run forward.
Yeah, it's unfortunate there as the space was there, and obviously just a little bit of miscommunication, or like you say, maybe just not on the same wavelength in terms of that attacking opportunity.
Jenna Clark. Glasgow City looking to get comfortable on the ball once more. Kavanagh facing her own goal. Picks out the pass to Joelle Murray. Boyle. Passing space to Leah Eddy. Goes long, looking for Carla Boyce. Millin in a tussle and comes off with the free kick.
Good idea by Leah Eddy there. Definitely the space was there in behind Glasgow City, but just unfortunate in terms of the body part of Carla Boyce that it comes off, and again possession conceded.
And looking for Davidson in the middle of her former teammates from the 2019 season and before. There's Zanetta Wine. Fulton gives her a bit of a task to take that down. Notley steps in. Pass on for Adams. Looking for the support. Tried to hold things up. Can Hayley Lauder get a quick counter for Glasgow City? Flo Tadilu has a look. Chinchilla in the area, but good work from Leah Eddy just to get the foot in, and Glasgow City will have their first corner of the afternoon.
I think Hibernian dealt with that really well. Leah Eddy comes across and stands up well, and obviously Joelle Murray there as cover. So I think Hibs will be quite happy. You know, at the most they've been able to keep Glasgow City in front of them, which makes it much more easier to defend. Probably a key moment for them now, though, to show that same resilience in this first corner for Glasgow City against them.
Tadilu, Chinchilla making the short run. Tadilu in the 6-yard area. Lauder receives the corner back, but pressed quickly by the away side. Chinchilla turns. Still bodies in the box at the back. Love tries to whip that one in. Millin trying to get the header on. Claims for another corner, but Hibernian will have the goal kick. And Dean Gibson will be happy about how alert Hibernian were there to just stop the short option from the set piece.
Yeah, definitely really well organised, and I think that one of the things that we've seen in this kind of third round of fixtures from Glasgow City is they have a lot of variation to their corner kicks. The alertness and the concentration of Hibernian is key.
Referee thinks there was a push from Amy Gallagher on Fulton there, so the free kick for Glasgow City. Another opportunity to get this into the area. Janine van Veek standing over. Murray deals with it. Adams helps it away. Hayley Adams is a player that has impressed a number of people this season. She's been very mature in her performances. 17-year-old last month, Pauline, and one that you've probably had your eye on, I would imagine.
Yeah, Hayley was part of a group of 17s that I worked with probably close to 18 months ago now, and she stepped up and is available for selection with our U19. But you know, the fact that Ailey's playing week in, week out at SWPL 1 is fantastic in terms of her own development, and will only help in terms of her putting her name in the hat for a place within Pauline Hamill's under-19s national team.
City looking to build in the Hibernian half yet again. Long ball looking for the run of Chinchilla. Much did well to keep an eye on that one. The bounce could have been misjudged, but she did well. And Colette's
movement by Chinchilla there, just to kind of get in between the two defenders. But like you say, Emily Much keeps her eye on it. But yeah, the pace in the Glasgow City front three today is frightening, isn't it?
A little bit of an example of just how much variation there is in there and how they can mix it up through the game.
Yeah, definitely, Stuart.
Could go long for Chinchilla. Filotadillo looks to hold the ball in also. And then, of course, Lauren Davidson up in attack as well. But here's Kirsty Morrison looking for Ailey Adams. And Glasgow City can just see that one through to Lee Alexander. She had to sit out on Wednesday night's win, but started the last 3 matches before that. Gets things going once more. Julia Malin. Fulton trying to get the ball back, but good pressing from Colette Kavanagh will give Hibernian the throw.
Yeah, very good work by Colette, and something that she showed in abundance on Wednesday night. Also extremely tenacious and has really good energy levels, and has been a key player for Hibernian this season.
Davidson looking long. Eddie heads that one away into the Glasgow City technical area. You could see Scott Booth just asking for some quicker movement from his players. We'll manage to step forward here with another throw. Just an example of how well Hibernian have done so far in the first 18 minutes, Pauline, that Scott Booth's asking for a little bit more sharper movement there.
Yeah, and I can understand that from Scott, but as you say, you know, I think the organisation of Hibs defensively has been very, very good, and the concentration also.
Free kick awarded to Hibs at the moment. So Leah Eddy tried to clear the ball. It was a little bit of an unfair challenge. And Boyle, in a different angle, looking for Adams. Takes it down on the chest. Looks for the pass, composed work. Murray now looks up the line. It's a bit too sharp and off angle for Kirsty Morrison.
Space was definitely on there, but just unfortunately overhit by Joelle Murray there. But you know, the pitch size, you know, makes the opportunity for counter-attacking opportunities today to be much more frequent, and also makes the game a lot more exciting.
Fulton on the spin, looking forward. Much clearance, just makes it out of the penalty area. A challenge between Fulton and Kavanagh there, and the visitors get the decision from Ross Hardy.
I'd like to see Emily Much be a little bit more decisive in that clearance there, and puts her team under a little bit of pressure that really isn't necessary.
Rachel Boyle, another player that started every league game this season so far for Hibernian. Along with the free kick, Kavanagh tries the flick. She will pick up the loose ball. Has Gallagher in the middle, but she's being forced back by Zanetta Wine. Chinchilla now. Davidson in space. Can't find a way through. Clark, Love, and now Janine van Veek. Davidson, a little deeper, looking for Lauder. Notley digging away. Eddie will help out for Hibernian. Clark tries the clearance and takes a swipe and catches Ailey Adams, and Hibernian again getting their body in front, winning the free kick. Dean Gibson will be delighted with the way they've started.
Yeah, they've started very well, and you know, in terms of their ability to battle in the 1v1 situations, you know, it's been 50-50 so far in the game, and like you say, Dean will be delighted at the kind of aggression that Hibernian have started this game with.
Eddie with the free kick, just out of your picture on the right. Kirsty Morrison's around the back area of the penalty box again. The ball's about to come to her. Boyle there to help out. Long diagonal, looking for Boyce, and Alexander using all the experience to track the ball and comfortably collect. City start short. Chinchilla for Davidson. Julia Mullin.
Here's Scott Booth getting a little bit frustrated there. He's really keen for Lauren Davidson to actually take that on the front foot and drive at the Hibernian backline.
For Vic Verwijn. Love. Plenty of options in front. Davidson under pressure from Muir. That's a lovely pass out for Julia Mullin. There's a number of bodies in the area. Mullin with the cross, but it's high and over the goal. And the chance breaks down for Glasgow City.
It's good work in the end by Davison there, but just disappointment in that final execution of the delivery into the box by Mullin.
A well spotted pass from the former Hibs attacker. Mullin just can't wrap her foot around that one. Emily Much stands over the goal kick, signed last summer from rivals Hearts. If it goes, Kavanagh wins the header again. Morrison tries the second. Order for Love. Chinchilla with energy. Mullin again. Filtadillo's touch is heavy. Boyce looking to set Adams away. One thing that's evident here from our commentary position, Pauline, is there's a lot of screaming and shouting coming from a lot of the players. It sounds mostly from Glasgow City, just trying to make teammates aware of the movements they're making.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Glasgow City are always a very vocal team, and they'll be maybe a little bit frustrated that they haven't created more within this first sort of 20, 25 minutes.
One thing with Glasgow City though is you can never rest when you're up against them. So much experience. And as you can see, fans back at a Glasgow City game. Delighted to see them start to make their way into SWPL 1 games midweek, and of course more getting out to see some action this afternoon, and it's fantastic to have them back. Fulton, Davidson. Fulton goes to ground but allows Davidson a way through. Storming into the area, tries to get the shot away. It might break again. Notley clears, shouts for a free kick on the edge of the penalty box. Nothing given from Vic. Order for Love. And Vic steps forward. Order. Chinchilla twisting her way through. Joe Love. Space for Julia Mullin. And it's a good job from Carla Boyce doing the defensive work to prevent any way through for the Glasgow City right back.
Really good spell of possession there for Glasgow City, Stuart, but just without any end product, and that's a result of the tight, compact defensive shape of Hibernian.
Fulton, Mullin lets the ball run back towards goal now. Kavanagh claims the throw in. Glasgow City will get it. Fulton in the pocket, trying to turn. And the corner awarded to Glasgow City. And another opportunity to get the bodies forward and crowd that penalty area in front of Emily Much. You can see Hibernian have everyone back in that penalty area as Fulton readies the corner in front of the Glasgow City substitutes. Ball's high up the back towards Clark, but that one again goes over the touchline and out for the goal kick. Maybe conditions playing a big part. You could see on your screens at the moment the rain coming down. It's been on and off this afternoon, but it's felt quite consistent since the game got underway, and there's a little bit of a wind picking up as well, Pauline.
Yeah, there is, but in terms of the level of players, I think Glasgow City will be really disappointed at the final execution there by Mary Fulton, and an opportunity, as we've seen during the week, set plays so important, and goals being scored in Wednesday night's game against Rangers.
Murray under a bit of pressure from Fulitadilu. Teamwork. Sees the ball cleared. Sliding challenge from Joe Love and another from Fulton and Notley.
It's getting a little bit heated in there.
Passion certainly rising between these two rivals. League positions don't really matter when Glasgow City and Hibernian come up against each other. You know, it's to be a hotly contested match. Much. That one will drop straight to Maddie Fulton. Cleared away by Notley.
Poor clearance by Emily Much there. Really needs to try and find Kirsty Morrison in the wide area for me, but instead plays it in the middle of the pitch and just, you know, Hibs lose possession again, and the orange wave comes upon them.
Wine looking for Lauder. Fulitadilu might get there. Murray clears. Morrison picking up. Love having to keep that one in play due to the deflection, otherwise it would have been a throw to Hibernian.
Ailey Adams has done really well leading the line for Hibernian today. It's a difficult shift up there alone, and she's working well across the pitch.
Lauder. No way through. From Vic. Jenna Clark. Julia Malin, high and wide, allows Clark to burst through. The pass is off. Gallagher takes over. Adams will have to hold that up and does well again. Notley looking for the long ball to Amy Gallagher. It bounces through.
Good pass by Emily Notch. Emily?
Boyce.
Notley there.
She'll get a second attempt at the cross. It's deadly in towards Morrison, headed away. A race between Davidson
really well
and Notley.
by Zanetta in there. Very, very well.
And Hibernian win the free kick.
Yeah, really good spell of play by Hibernian there.
28 minutes played in this first half at Broadwood. Pauline, is it an easy thing to say that Dean Gibson will be by far the happiest manager so far?
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. I think, you know, they've defended so well, but I think also in possession they've showed good composure and had a good understanding of the way that they want to attack collectively.
Amy Gallagher standing over this one. We know what she can do from these positions, and she will have an effort on goal. Amy Gallagher over the bar, maybe just a little too far out, that one.
Yeah, I think to me she gets under it too much there, but I think she needs to commit to it more and be a little bit braver.
Chance goes by for the visitors. Glasgow City 0, Hibernian 0, approaching the half hour. Kavanagh drinking her way in the middle, looking for Notley, who's further forward at the moment. City sweep up. Wine, Lauder, quick 1-2 through for Chinchilla. Murray makes sure that one gets as far away as possible. Screams from Scott Booth of quicker as Clark plays that one into Davidson. The first touch very important to try and get away from the pressuring defence. Muir's header into Notley. Fulitadilu doing the pressing. Mentioned earlier, Pauline, about the shouting. It's went a little bit quiet again. That's why you can hear Scott Booth on that far side, even from where we are on the opposite side.
I mean, as much as Glasgow City are dominating possession at the moment, Stuart, they're not really hurting Hibernian, haven't really been able to get the ball in behind and ask questions of that Hibernian backline. So, you know, Hibernian probably quietly confident at this moment in time.
Is that down to the quality of the passing, or is it down to the quality of the defending?
Probably a little bit of both.
Maybe a chance for Glasgow City to breach that defending here. Wine Sharp ball for Filutadilou, and that just bounces into the hands of Emily Much. And that one a little bit closer for City.
Definitely, and good awareness and movement by the striker in that situation.
Boyle giving possession away. Another wave of an attack from the hosts. Davidson doing well to keep the ball. Gallagher again doing well to get back into defensive shape. Here's Wine looking for Lauder. The ball will drop. Notley tries to get there first, and Murray can clear. Kavanagh. Glasgow City looking a lot quicker onto Hibernian as they try to play the ball out of defence. Challenge from Kavanagh and Chinchilla. The referee has a look and awards the throw-in only. You can hear what the Glasgow City players think of that one as it threatens to get fiery again. Gallagher needs help. Murray clears. Referee having to keep a close eye on proceedings so far. Have a look at that one again. Chinchilla with the touch. What do you think of that one, Pauline?
Sorry, Stuart, what was that?
The challenge from Chinchilla.
Do you know, that's part of Colette Kavanagh and the way that she plays, you know. For me, yeah, we don't want to take that away from the game. We want it to remain competitive.
Jenna Clark about to step over the halfway line. Angle changed to Janine van Veek. Morrison blocks. Starting to feel a little bit like Hibs just can't get the ball to stick up an attack, and Glasgow City are easily getting possession to come back and throw another wave of an attack.
Yeah, definitely. I think there probably the ball was into Ailey Adams as opposed to into the wide area for Kirsty, who had initially played the pass in.
Rachel Boyle doing well to prevent any cross from Zanetta Wine. Rachel Boyle was a Hibs Players Player of the Year for the 2019 season. Lots of experience in defence or in attack. A versatile player as well. Zanetta Wine taking a little bit of a sore one, and she looks like she will need some treatment. She sat out the last two games since she started in the 0-0 draw to Celtic just under a fortnight ago.
Looks like it's potentially the hamstring, but I think she knows herself that maybe her afternoon is over.
Yeah, a shake of the head there from the experienced defender. Have a look at what may have happened. When she crossed the ball in, there wasn't much to signal that there was any injury or any knock taken. Having a look at the substitutes bench for Scott Booth in Glasgow City. A lot of experience in there, and Kaylin Meekie, as she needs to come on against her former side.
Yeah, I'd expect Mullen potentially just to move to that left back position, and Kaylin Meekie to slot in at right back, Stuart.
There's also Megan Foley, if required, who's played in a lot of games recently. There is about to be a change as the referee signals the substitution can be made. It's the end of the afternoon and a disappointing one for Zanetta Wine. Julia Malin just over to take the throw, and it is Kaylin Meekie coming on, former Hibs player, on a mixture of League Cups and Scottish Cups with the side from the capital. So it'll be a very strange afternoon for her now, coming up against the green and white of Hibernian for once. Kavanagh in to win the ball from Chinchilla. Van Veek for Love. Jenna Clark going for the long ranger, the ball dipping but high and wide. Just as you mentioned, Pauline, from the reshuffle, Julia Malin over to left back now. Kaylin Meekie starting on the right, so it won't change things too much for Scott Booth.
It doesn't really change much at all, but you can see that I think it's a bit of an adventurous effort there from Jenna Clark, and is that a result of frustration in terms of them being unable to break down this Hibernian defence so far in the first half.
Emily Much with the goal kick. Kavanagh wins the header. Fulton takes over. Claims both ways. Glasgow City have the throw. Just under 10 minutes until half time. Remaining 0-0 between the sides here. Samantha Wine taking the applause on the far side from the supporters in the stadium. As Joe Love looks to angle a ball into the box. Gallagher does well. Kavanagh can use Boyce out on the left. Gallagher charges forward again. Boyce looks inside. Muir coming up on the touchline to support. Can she get there? Very casual from Clark and does well to get it upfield. Notley intervenes.
Bit of a disappointing ending to a positive move there by Hibernian, but no real end product.
It's a first push forward from Hibernian in some time. They'll look to start once more. Boyle. Adams chasing her own touch. Morrison can't stretch to keep it in play. Lauder. Clark. Meekie. Looking to find Fulitadilu. Eddie there for company for Hibernian.
It's been a really good battle, Fulitadilu up against Leah Eddy today.
Glasgow City have tried to get through on that far corner a few times already in this first half, but unsuccessful in their attempts. Meekie forced back by Boyce. And Clark steps in to swipe that one away. It's been a very interesting battle for the opening stages of this first half, and now going on towards half-time. Would you say that Glasgow City are needing to step up a few gears to try and get through Hibernian?
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. You can see that they're trying to play with more intensity, but I think for me, maybe try and make the pitch bigger than they currently are and try and stay as expansive. Then they'll tend to, tire Hibernian. Hibernian have not got the same depth of squad, so potentially maybe don't have the same sort of energy levels available to them across the 90 minutes today.
Chinchilla finds Malin. Step over to buy some more time. Chinchilla short. Love receives. Thinks about the long-range effort. Deflection off Notley. Much takes. Another comfortable catch for the Hibernian goalkeeper.
Yeah, it is, and Hibernian will be delighted that they're forcing Glasgow City to take efforts on goal from that sort of distance, and they'll be comfortable, and Emily Much dealing with those.
Eddie in trouble for a second, but manages to do brilliantly, coming away with the ball, and she's still going, looking for Adams. Clark steps in with the pass to goalkeeper Lee Alexander. Mullen. Murray in, clearing away. Last touch off Kirsty Morrison in the green and white of Hibs, and Glasgow City will have the throw. Again, no way through from the Hibs charge. Mullen will have another throw to take. An important job for players like Carla Boyce and Kirsty Morrison, as you just saw, on their back helping out the rest of the team defending this afternoon. Kavanagh digs away. Joelle Murray clears. Neely Adams takes it down. Boy over the top. Couple of runners for Hibernian. Colette Kavanagh looking to get there first. She does well. And Glasgow City concede the throw. I think Julia Malin was just asking for a foul there from the assistant down to her right.
I think it's a shoulder charge there. I like the physicality that Colette Kavanagh brings to the game, and I think it's something that we don't see often enough. But however, today has been definitely very different to maybe what we would see, because every player really wants to win their individual battle out there in the field.
Boyle with the cross, on top of Alexander, but she'll take that comfortably. 29-year-old signed a contract extension in November to see her through to the end of 2023 at the current time for Glasgow City. Mullins pass to Joe Love. Clark for Love. Fully to Dillu. Pass too far in front of Lauren Davidson, and signs of that Glasgow City frustration in this first half starting to show again.
Yeah, it definitely is, and I think for me, you know, Lauren Davidson just has to expect that and already be on her way, and that's exactly why Scott will be extremely frustrated, because they seem to have been reactive in certain situations as opposed to proactive in their attacking play.
Jenna Clark stepping forward. Chinchilla has the ball. Nice turn on Boyle. Players stuck together. Chinchilla finds the pass. Flew to Dilu, trying to get the shot away. And cleared away by Ellis Notley. Too far in front for Ailey Adams to chase that time. For Vickers Lauder. The option in front is Mullin. Fulton helps it out to Mullin. Booted away by Boyle. Hibernian holding strong. A few minutes to go until the regulation 45. Can Glasgow City get themselves in front before that half-time break? Joe Love. Clark can look either side. Kaelin Meekie. Hasn't seen too much of the ball since she came on as a substitute for the injured Zanetta Wine. She has the ball here. Good work. Can she get the crossover? Boyce there to deny.
Really good work by Carla Boyce there up against Kaelin Meekie, and you know, that's what is required, you know, across every Hibernian player. Today she's tracked back well throughout this whole first 40 odd minutes or so, and for that, you know, Hibernian still very much in the game.
Meekie to Lauder. Being surrounded by green and white. The hosts will have another throw. Davidson. Meekie. Can't get the ball through to Hayley Lauder. Everyone in the Hibernian half apart from Lee Alexander. Chinchilla. Slipped through to Hayley Lauder. Goes for the effort. And that's just past the post from Hayley Lauder. And that's the first real opportunity for Glasgow City.
Yeah, and it falls to probably the player that they would want on the ball there, Stuart. I think Hayley Lauder probably be a little bit disappointed. She'd expect to hit the target by her own standards.
Hayley Lauder only featured in 3 of the last 8 matches for Glasgow City. A big game player in her time at the club. Hibernian will be happy to get it to half-time at 0-0. And the free kick in this position for the foul from Fulton will allow them to get the ball up into the Glasgow City defensive area. It's Fulton who heads away. Off to Chinchilla. Adams intervenes. Gallagher in front, just can't get the ball slipped through. Jenna Clark does wonderfully in defence, and there'll be a call for some treatment as Kavanagh and Davidson on the ground. We'll get a look at that one again.
Kavanagh's just late to the party there for me, and probably needs to maybe calm things down a little bit, as there's a couple of challenges that she's been involved in.
And into the referee's book, Colette Kavanagh for the late challenge. Janine van Beek zips it into Fulton. Space in the middle. Turns. Has an option right. Lauren Davidson. Across it goes. Into the side netting. And the danger passes once again. Lauren Davidson. And 6 league goals for Hibernian last season. Trying to turn provider that time, I think, with the ball across the 6-yard area, but just couldn't pull it off.
Yeah, it's a good ball out by Chinchilla there, and you know, in that situation, I'm sure Scott would be encouraging Lauren to have a shot on goal.
Eddie heads away. Fulton for Davidson. Just holding it in the corner.
Again, good work in there by Carla Boyce supporting Amy Muir.
And the half-time whistle goes at Broadwood. It's been an interesting first 45 minutes between top of the league Glasgow City and Hibernian. A fixture that's always excited, it's always impressed, it's always been entertaining. In this first 45, it's been a bit of a chess match between the two sides. Glasgow City looking to extend their unbeaten run, but they want to pick up points. They've been frustrated by Hibernian, who've had their chances as well, with an early set-piece header, almost threatening Lee Alexander in goal. Hayley Lauder closest for Glasgow City, but at the end of the first 45, it's Glasgow City 0, Hibernian 0.
Well, a goalless first half here at Broadwood, but I am delighted to say that I am now joined by Julie Fleeting and Pauline MacDonald. An interesting first half, probably not what Glasgow City were expecting, Julie?
No, I don't think so. I think Hibs have come out tactically, got it quite spot on. I think they'll definitely be the happier of the two sides going in at half-time. Although Glasgow City have had a great deal of possession, I think the quality in their final ball has really been lacking in that first half, and I think that's definitely something that Scott Booth will hope to rectify at half-time.
And Pauline, what do you think Dean Gibson will be making of that first half?
I think he'll be really happy. Having watched Hibernian on Wednesday evening, you know, they set up really good, well defensively, but maybe didn't get quite as much success in their counter-attacking play. And I think again today you can see defensively they've been excellent and made Glasgow City play in front of them the majority of the time.
What will Scott Booth be thinking? Because, I mean, it's a very important weekend for Glasgow City.
For me, he'll be happy with the possession that they've had, but maybe not with the intensity that they've shown throughout the first 45. And for me, they really need to get Chinchilla on the ball more, because she's so exciting and dynamic, and potentially also look to get Fulla Tadulu more in the game. But, you know, all respect to Leah Eddy, she's matched up so well against her.
And, Julie, the thing is with these fixtures is that the past two times that they've faced each other, Glasgow City won 3-2 and 2-1, so it has been tight games considering some of the other scores across the season.
Yeah, I think both sides, I mean, they're so used to playing each other, the sides who have been battling it out for the championship for a good number of years, and there's still a lot of the same players. You see, both sides have got experience within their team, and I think when it comes to one-to-one head-on clashes between these sides, they really lift their game, and although Glasgow City have been scoring plenty against other sides, they are struggling to break down the Hibs defence.
Do you think Glasgow City will be feeling the pressure of these midweek games, of the importance of this weekend?
I think they've got a big enough squad to deal with the midweek games and playing at the weekend as well. I think they have quality, and the players that they've been able to leave out at the starting 11 just shows the quality that they have throughout the squad. And I think, as you say, it is a big weekend for them, especially with the game, the Old Firm game, that's potential, could drop points to the teams below them, so it's an opportunity for them to really pull away at the top of the table.
And Pauline, I know a couple of the Hibernian players have impressed you, some that you know from their time with the under-17s.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, the tenacity and the kind of energy Kavanagh plays with is something that Hibs really thrive on, and she's been very, very good for them again today, especially in terms of trying to break up Glasgow City's play. But for me as well, to see Leah Eddy return to the back line, previously she'd been playing in midfield for Hibs, I think she makes such a positive impact in their defensive setup, and looks very confident going forward on the ball as well.
What do you think Scott Booth will be thinking and saying to his players at half-time now?
I think they have to remain confident. As we can see, they're dominating possession of the ball, so you could see that maybe as the game goes on, not having the same depth of squad, Hibernian may start to tire. And I think when you're defending for such long periods of time, concentration is key, and with tiredness, sometimes you can have lapses in that.
Now, elsewhere, there is another big game taking place just now, Celtic versus Rangers. Celtic have just gone 2-1 up. They're coming into the closing stages of that game. Julie, what do you make of that? We obviously haven't seen it, but just knowing the scoreline.
Yeah, I think Rangers have really struggled against Celtic this season. They're the side who they haven't been able to beat, and that game a massive fixture for them, and Rangers really needed the 3 points, I think, if they wanted to stay in the title challenge.
I mean, things could change before full time in that match, but as it stands, what do you think is going on with Rangers when it does come to play Celtic, because they do kind of struggle with that?
They have, and I think Celtic just have been able to match them. I think the last 2 games, of course, it's been tight, and Celtic have scored quite late on in the game again. You're talking there very late on, and another winner at the moment, or as it looks at the moment. So Rangers, that they have a very strong squad. They've got some great players who have had experience of winning the title with Glasgow City, but it just seems to be when they come up against their rivals that they haven't been able to come on top.
And Pauline, it was Sarah Ewens with the goal which put Celtic ahead. She's a player who has impressed this season.
Yeah, she definitely has. Obviously, she was out injured for a spell, but since she's come back, she's showed real hunger and desire to make things happen when she plays at Celtic, whether it be on the wing or through the centre as a number 9. So, yeah, I'm sure she'll be delighted to get her name on the score sheet today.
Well, it's very interesting and exciting to see how that game pans out, also with the second half here. But before then, it's time to hear now from Glasgow City CEO Laura Montgomery, as the club achieved another milestone this week with fans finally back in the stadium.
It's been a long old wait, but just how excited are you to have fans back in on Sunday?
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. As you say, we've been waiting an awful long time. I mean, it's probably not ideal because obviously we're a Glasgow club, and majority of our fans are based in Glasgow. So those guys can't attend, but everyone's certainly out with the kind of level 3 area can. So we're very, very much looking forward to it. And listen, the players are as well. It's now a little bit boring playing in front of no crowds whatsoever.
I was trying to work out the last time that Glasgow City would have played in front of a crowd, and I think it would have been when we had the first go at this season against Celtic. But I actually think that the last time Glasgow City played at home in front of fans was November 2019, when you guys would have clinched last season's title. It feels like it's been forever ago, but can you believe it's been that long?
No, definitely, and you're right, because I mean that was such a special occasion, and even the Scottish Cup final, which was our very last game of the season, was a record crowd for the kind of domestic women's game in Scotland. I think it was about 3,000 at that game. So you've kind of gone from the highs of those kind of crowds to then no one getting in at all. So yeah, very much looking forward to Sunday. It'll be different, but looking forward to it.
We've seen it over the past sort of couple of weeks, fans return, but it really seems like, or it feels like, fans have had already a very big impact, even though they've only returned in limited numbers. How much of an impact do you think they could make for Glasgow City, given just how close the title race is? This could be a really important time for fans to actually return.
Yeah, it will be, and I'll be interested to know if there's any kind of neutral fans that are at the game as well on Sunday. We're just kind of desperate, to get back and see football, and undoubtedly it will suit supporters of Hibernian as well. Obviously Edinburgh's still in a level 2 setting, so those guys will be able to come. So yeah, I think the different supporters makes is massive. All players love playing in front of fans. It's makes such a difference if you score a goal or make a good tackle and you actually hear a little bit of noise around the stadium when that happens, rather than just the dulcet tone of probably me and one other in the background. So yeah, fans make a huge difference. They help the players go that extra mile, when they're getting tired, or they're trying to see a game out, or they're chasing a game to try and get the winner. So yeah, hopefully it helps make the difference for ourselves.
And you mentioned about kind of the neutral fans, Tim, but this might sound a little bit odd, but given how long we've gone without live sport, and given that most of the leagues in Scotland are now finished, just from given your role at the club as well, from a business perspective, do you actually kind of see this as an opportunity with fans returning to offer neutrals or people who have been denied sport a chance to watch some high quality football? And given that we've got 6 games left in the season, there's a few games that they might be able to get to watch here.
Yeah, I think definitely, but again, it goes hand in hand with the fans knowing that the games are on. So at the moment, those supporters that will know that you can attend our game will be followers of our club already, because they'll already be following our social media feed. So unless the kind of wider media lets fans know that it is available to come, then it's hard for us singly as a club to get that message out. So I kind of think on Sunday, yeah, it'll mostly be fans of Glasgow City, or certainly the women's game in general, because as I say, they're already be following us. But it would be fantastic if there are one or two others that just happen to hear about the game that think they'll actually go and check it out. And certainly with our own club, we've seen that over the years with our Champions League games. We've had a lot of new people to women's football that have thought that we'll go and check a Champions League game out, and they've seen us play, and then they find they come back year after year, and they start to take up to watch the game. Because I think as most of us involved know, once you've been along to see it, then you'll be hooked and you'll be back.
Glasgow City CEO Laura Montgomery there speaking to Matthew Reid. Now, Pauline, in true Scottish style, we finally got fans back, but the weather is horrendous.
Definitely not the best weather for welcoming the fans back, but absolutely fantastic to see so many here. Unfortunately, the Glasgow-based fans unable to travel, but yeah, still good numbers here for this game this afternoon.
It is great to see the support, and you hope that actually with more media coverage and more focus on SWPL 1 and SWPL 2 when it returns, that we do see more of a fan base coming to these games.
Yeah, I would expect so, like you say, with the visibility now, but also with the absence of football from many people's life for the last 16 months, I would hope that we'll see numbers increase significantly, especially moving into next season.
Well, that's the thing, because there were big numbers before. As Laura mentioned in the feature there, 3,000 at the last Scottish Cup final. How important is it to get those numbers back up?
It's very important, just for the support for the players, but also to show that there's a product there that's worthwhile and people want to come and watch it. And I was at Tynecastle that day, and it was absolutely fantastic, the atmosphere.
Well, hopefully we will be back to those levels soon. We can only hope. But I mean, if we just get to what we were talking to just before that feature with Laura, this Rangers versus Celtic game, it's huge with this battle at the top of the table. And if Celtic go on to win 2-1, that's another massive statement.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, I don't think it will define the ultimate positions that the teams will finish at, but it's a fantastic confidence boost for Celtic, specifically given that they would then have had 3 victories over Rangers this season.
Well, after this, there are just 3 match days left. Do you think it is a pivotal weekend, perhaps, in the top league?
I mean, it potentially could be. I think that, for me, Rangers probably have the most difficult run-in, which they'll obviously be conscious of as well. But, I think there's still minutes left in that game, so who knows what the final result will be.
You're right, 2 minutes left, so it could change. Everything could change in that time. But elsewhere, I mean, towards the bottom of the table, Motherwell, they won 1-0 against Hearts today. For them, they move up into 6th place, which is a good spot for them.
Yeah, it's, a fantastic win for them. And I think, over the last few weeks, they've really grown in terms of the performances they've put in, specifically against Glasgow City on Wednesday evening. And they've obviously taken confidence from that. And I'm sure, the announcement of the new manager, all the players there will be looking at today as an opportunity to impress.
Well, Paul Brownlee, what do you think he'll bring to this Motherwell side?
Paul will bring a lot of energy. He loves being on the pitch, he loves working with players, but I also think that he'll have his eyes on maybe where Motherwell potentially need to strengthen, and having worked in the game for a long time, I think he'll be able to have communications with the right sort of players that they want to bring to the club to move the club forward.
Well, elsewhere in the games today, Spartans won 3-0 against Forfar. Farmington, not a good result for Forfar, but Spartans again moving up into 4th place, depending on the result today though.
Yeah, I think, having that earlier kick-off and now securing the 3 points, Spartans will be delighted, and they continue to put the pressure on Hibernian, because there's a real fight in Edinburgh for that 4th place spot.
Well, with the second half here coming up, how do you think this is going to go?
I think we'll definitely see much more of the same. I think the challenge for Hibernian is, can they maintain the energy that they've shown in the first half, given that they have a slightly smaller squad to pull from. I think Glasgow City finished the game very, very strong, or finished the first half strong, and I think they'll be looking to maybe potentially play more expansive, tire Hibernian out, and hope that the attacking chances come more regularly for them.
If Glasgow City win and Rangers lose against Celtic, is it all over at the top of the table?
I would suggest that probably Glasgow City would look definitely comfortable in terms of retaining that title. In terms of what's going to happen for that second spot, I think it's still quite unpredictable.
Brilliant. Thanks, Pauline. A very exciting second half coming up, but at the moment it is still 0-0. I'll pass you back over to our commentator, Stuart Mitchell.
A tense first 45 minutes. What do we have in store for the second? The meetings between these two sides have always been close. In April this year, the midweek match, it was Glasgow City coming out on top by 2-1, and earlier in the season here in November it was 3-2 between Glasgow City and Hibs. Glasgow City going in front and Hibernian sparking what was nearly a second half comeback. And Scott Booth, I'm sure, has had an opportunity to put his inspirational words forward to his Glasgow City side. And is there a little bit of magic to break the deadlock here at Broadwood? Joe Boyle with the throw for Hibernian. Dean Gibson will also have had some inspirational words at the break for his side to keep up what's been a solid first half from them. Morrison looking to apply the pressure. Glasgow City have the throw in front of the fans, as you can see in the Broadwood seats behind the throw. A great feeling to have the supporters back in SWPL 1. Will they be treated to some goals in the second half? Glasgow City on the charge through Chinchilla. She will pick up the second ball. Jenna Clark. Nishi on the right. Davidson ahead. Love there too. Lauder lays off to Fulton. And maybe just a little bit of a rush of blood to the head there. Didn't catch that one correctly, and that's certainly another chance for Glasgow City, Pauline.
Yeah, very good chance, and it's good work there by Joe Love, and the build-up play and awareness by Hayley Lauder. And for me, yeah, just kind of leans back on it. Maddie Fulton, and will be disappointed because she's scored a number of goals for Glasgow City this season.
In that last match in the league between the two sides at Ainsley Park in the capital, it was Hibernian that went in front through Ailey Adams, scoring in the first half. Glasgow City getting ready to build another attack as they look to take the lead. Jane van Veek up for Lauder, cut out by Boyle. Looking for the pass, it doesn't come off. It was Notley on the chase in front of Scott Booth. He said games between Glasgow City and Hibernian are always big games. The possibility that he might know that result from the Rangers-Celtic game, would you say, Pauline, or do you just switch off from that when you're in charge of your own match?
Yeah, you definitely just switch off for that, and you make sure you get the job done in the game that you're involved in.
Amy Gallagher and a tussle in the middle. Wins a free kick for her side. A standout for Hibs, and another thrilling match between these two sides in the Scottish Women's Cup final at Tynecastle in the 2019 season. Another close one which City edged 4-3, but plenty of goals in that one. Claims for handball. City move forward. The throw-in will go to Hibernian, and the volume picks up here once more at Broadwood. It's just taking their time. Gallagher and Boyle exchange passes. Lauder steps in behind Fulton. Joe Love running onto it. Meekie passes ahead of Davidson. Glasgow City have the throw in an attacking position now.
Well read by Leah Eddy again there, just kind of putting that Glasgow City attacking pattern of play to a halt.
He trying to turn. Claims for the throw. Glasgow City get it, take it quickly. Flutadilou. Can't get the cross in. Leah Eddy slides again. Claims for the goal kick, and you can see the anger and frustration on Flutadilou's face there, screaming for the corner kick. And the referee, Ross Hardy, is just going to take a minute out to speak to Joe Love, the captain, as we look at the replay. What do you think, Pauline?
I think Glasgow City players are correct there. I think it's definitely a corner.
Flutadilou stakes her claim. Emily Much with the goal kick for Hibernian. Fulton, Love. Lauren Davidson. Joe Love trying to go for the back heel. Still has possession. Jenna Clark. Deflection from Amy Muir, cleared away from Ellis Notley. It's a perfect ball for Amy Muir to now run on to. Could be 2 on 2 here. Jenna Clark gets in and defends that brilliantly.
Yeah, it's a great pick out by Ellis Notley there, and Amy trying to get on forward. But yeah, Jenna Clark strong in her defending capabilities there, and makes it look easy, really.
Chinchilla. Jenna Clark. Davidson back to Clark. Colette Kavanagh, another young but experienced player in midfield, former Celtic player in the Hibernian team. This was a powerful shot to her name as well. Can hit them from long range. But so can Janine van Veek. Kavanagh steps in. Trying to play the ball up to Kirsty Morrison. A heavy pass. City will have it again, but Dean Gibson encouraged.
Great defensive work there by Colette Kavanagh again.
And for Chinchilla. And looks for Malin. Boyle steps up. Joe Love again. Hibernian just looking to get their foot on the ball. Glasgow City with possession, looking to cut away through the visitors. Lauder turning left and right into Hibs players. Notley's pass gives Adams something to chase. Van Veek back to Alexander. Spread out to Jenna Clark. So the space between the two central defenders. The ball is only to Boyle. Kavanagh. Hibs hold. Good pass from Gallagher to Eddie. Keeps possession for the away side. Carla Boyce. Muir on the run. Boyce goes inside. And the runs were not continued there. And that one breaks down for Hibs.
Yeah, a little bit disappointing there. I think Amy Muir makes a really good run there, and Carla Boyce maybe just delays on the pass a little too long.
Little signs there that Hibernian do have the openings when they get possession.
Yeah, they definitely have. You know, they've started the second half well and with a lot of confidence, and again, defensive setup is good, and they understand that the opportunities are going to fall with those kind of counter-attacking moments in the game.
Julie Malin. Options inside. Turns, cross, headed away by Murray. Fulton's there. Motley gets the body in, and Murray clears. Hibernian throw. Second half has just started in the same way the first ended, and the first went through the full 45 minutes of the first half. What do you think either side has to change, Pauline?
You know, if I'm Hibernian, I'm probably not changing a lot, to be honest with you, Stuart. You know, the game plan is working. They must remain focused and concentrated, and hope to take one of the counter-attacking opportunities that arises from a Glasgow City perspective. I think make the pitch as big as you can, try and tire your opponent out. They've got real speed across the front three, and I think that's potentially how they'll come about more attacking opportunities in the second half.
Evie Muir with the throw, doesn't find a player in green and white, has the ball again, but Davidson, formerly of the Hibernian green and white, cuts it out as Chinchilla in lots of space on the left. She just can't get the ball out of her feet. Another opportunity though, and Muir in to see no way through.
I think it's really good reading of the game there by Joelle Murray, but for me also Lauren Davison, I think, has to release that ball earlier.
Meekie and Love exchange passes. Kaylee Meekie will have another throw. Player Scott Booth has openly spoke about trying to sign on a number of occasions. Hayley Lauder here, across, away from Boyle. Gallagher with the touch. Morrison looking to charge forward. Melinda's well.
Some really great individual battles all across the pitch today.
She's looking for some help. Finds it in Joe Love. Kavanagh cuts out. Through for Adams, all alone there with Jenna Clark. Glasgow City get the defenders back. And Adams plays the ball off a Glasgow City player and wins the throw.
I think in that situation there, they need to try and get support a little bit quicker to Ailey Adams, both behind her for her to play back, but also looking to get runners that want to go beyond.
There's word of a change over there on the Glasgow City bench. As you can see, it's Shea Wojcik and Nicole Robertson coming on, so two interesting substitutions. Polly, what do you think those mean?
I think they look like just straight swaps for me, and maybe potentially looking to freshen things up. Lauren Davison, I think, will be for Nicole Robertson, who obviously another player with frightening pace, and then Sharon Wojcik in place of Mary Fulton in the middle of the pitch there.
So Scott Booth makes his move. Hibernian with another throw, just edging forward up that far touchline. Will they be able to create something here? Put any danger onto Lee Alexander's goal. Screams for a foul. Glasgow City continue. Ball up towards Filutadillu. Touch isn't right though, and Hibernian have it again. Jill Murray. Eddie. Diagonal for Boyce. Cut out by Clark. Lauder. Mullin. Clark. Filutadillu can touch it to Wojcik, but again Joelle Murray's there. Kavanagh can't get past Joe Love, and Hibernian have the free kick.
Really good work again by Hibs there in transition, getting numbers round the ball and pressure on the ball.
You see Murray with that vital intervention. Kavanagh tripped by the outstretched leg of Joe Love as Leah Eddy stands over the free kick. 7 caps with the Scotland under-19s. Her pass up to Carla Boyce. 14 caps and 4 goals with the under-19 national squad. And Hibernian have a throw that may give Carla Boyce, Ailey Adams an opportunity here.
Good opportunity there for Hibernian to get themselves further up the pitch, and you know, in these moments they're going to be few and far between, so it's important that they utilise it positively.
There's a number of Hibernian jerseys in the penalty area. Kavanagh does well to juggle the ball past Robertson, holds off and accepts the throw for her side, and that will reshuffle the away side to get some of those bodies back up towards the halfway line. Danger not cleared. Notley's touch for Muir, just can't keep that one in play. Glasgow City will step up. Meekie finds Filutadillu. Good movement from Vic, searching for Malin. The ball bounces past Morrison. Malin takes. Chinchilla goes for the long range effort, is dipping towards Emily Much. She catches, and at the second attempt picks the ball up.
Fantastic touch of play there by Van Wyk, and it's a really good effort by Chinchilla as well. But yeah, we're expecting Emily Much to be able to deal with that from that range, as she does.
As you can see, the conditions, the rain increasing, that may have a say as this second half continues. Neither side has broken the deadlock yet. Dean Gibson handing the ball to Rachel Boyle. May be happy with a result such as this. Love trying to clear with the back heel. Lynn holding off. Lauder gives it away. Boyle, and then Lauder just hits that one outfield. And as we heard in the first half, Pauline, the screams get louder and louder from the Glasgow City players, just trying to encourage each other. Hibernian are doing a fantastic job to hold this here.
Yeah, they definitely are, and I actually think Hibernian have started the second half the better of the two, and have actually forced their way into the game and been able to get their team much higher up the pitch.
It's not just that, they look like they can create. They've had a couple of opportunities. Kavanagh. Good work from Chinchilla. Can't go past Boyle. The referee allows play to continue. Rachel Boyle looking for options. Notley.
I think we need to see Hibs become more expansive in those moments when they win possession there, as everything was very narrow and limited option for Rachel Boyle, who was in possession.
Flutadillo might catch the break here, but Notley manages to sweep things up and collect a misplaced pass. Joelle Murray. Nice pass. Morrison for Kavanagh. Morrison just can't get there. Wojcik. Ball takes a deflection, that might help Flutadillo. Nicole Robertson in the area. Lauder making a late run into the penalty area also. Joe Love trying to get there, and you can hear the click of the boots together and the yellow card brandished from referee Ross Hardy to the Glasgow City captain Joe Love. It's a good spot from Flutadillo. Could have picked one of two players.
I think the referee's got a spot on there. I actually thought that it was Carla Boyce that looked like she might have been a little bit late in that situation, but no, it was Joe Love.
Over an hour played at Broadwood. Glasgow City hoping to increase their lead at the top of the SWPL 1 table after the earlier result. Celtic defeating Rangers 2-1 in the derby. And the two rivals here locked at 0-0 as it stands. And Vic with the header on Gallagher. Ball for Robertson to chase. 1-1 with Leah Eddy. The orange shirts tried to get into the 6-yard area. Glasgow City will accept the corner.
Again, good reading of the game by Leah Eddy there. I think, you know, she realises that she was going to be late to the pick-up of Nicole Robertson, and fully identifies, you know, the strength of Nicole Robertson as well in terms of her pace.
Chinchilla has the short option in Shannon Wojcik. There's a number of players at the back post. Jenna Clarksey with the header. The bounce takes the sting out of it, and it's easy for Emily Much.
Yeah, it certainly is. You know, I think Hibernian matched up well. As much as Jenna Clark gets the contact, she's unable to get any power on it.
Dean Gibson says he knows that Hibernian have enough in their group to collect 3 points this afternoon. They certainly have every opportunity of doing so as it stands. Wojcik forced back, possession given away. Carla Boyce There's a run from Kavanagh. Janine van Beek intercepts. Joe Love looking for Robertson. That one behind the City attacker. And Glasgow City just struggling to build anything as it stands.
Yeah, they are, and it's as a result of, you know, Hibs' defensive shape and tenacity and determination, you know, not to concede. But I think a missed opportunity there in terms of the pick up by Carla Boyce. You know, Colette Kavanagh is looking to get beyond, and just a little bit more precision in terms of that final penetrating pass could have seen her through on goal.
Alexander. Scotland international out to the South African international. And Jenna Clark. Miki. Chinchilla with space. Cleared away by Murray. Chinchilla again in a tight angle. Lauder. Boyle gets rid of that one.
A little bit of last-ditch defending there by Hibernian, but yeah, they managed to remain or keep the scoreline 0-0.
Glasgow City trying to turn up the heat on Hibernian. All the visitors remain strong. Adams in. Wojcik with the challenge, and a look between the two officials, and the throw in Hibernian's way.
I think for me, just in terms of that last attack and play, you know, Chinchilla is so good in her possession of the ball. She manipulates it so well, and any touch on her in that 18-yard box is going to be a penalty. So for me, Glasgow City must try and feed her the ball at every opportunity.
Okay, Scott Booth having a word with Megan Foley and Aoife Colville. Some instructions as City continue on the field of play. Clark going long. Flutadillo in the chase. Much alert again. She started the last 12 league matches in nets for Hibernian after the first 5 league games back last year as a substitute. Well, she's looked quite comfortable this afternoon, the young Hibs goalkeeper. Boyle under pressure from Robertson. Free kick awarded. And that will allow the changes to be made by Glasgow City. So we'll look to see who will make way for Aoife Colville. Looks like Odie Flutadillo is the first, and Julia Mullin also going off. So that feels a little bit more attacking minded from Scott Booth.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he maybe feels like, you know, Aoife Colwell offers something slightly different up top, and, you know, we spoke about it earlier, but I think, you know, the opportunities that Flutadillo's had today have been restricted so much because of the you know, the quality of Leah Eddy playing that back line for Hibernian.
And that just gives the Hibernian defence something different to think about.
Yeah, it certainly does.
And Vic Cam turns and spots Chinchilla, but just can't take it down with the touch on the head. Amy Muir. Boyce. Nice move with Amy Muir. What can Hibernian do here? Through the legs, Adams might get there. The ball's loose, and it's Clark to clear. And a great opportunity for Hibernian, and Lee Alexander is down and will require some treatment. Some good movement on the left side there from the visitors.
Yeah, it was much more fluency in the play between Carla Boyce and Amy Muir, and just unfortunate Amy Muir that couldn't get that ball across the box.
And that will increase the encouragement for Hibernian, especially as top of the table Glasgow City try to push forward as they look to extend their lead at the top. Boyle spots Boyce over the top of the defence. Flag stays down. Amy Muir takes over. Boyce moves into the 6-yard area. It's cut back. Adams might get there. And out of the air into the safe hands of Lee Alexander. And now Hibernian stepping it up, but Glasgow City on the charge.
It's a great pick out there by Amy Muir, and unfortunately Ellie Adams just gets there a fraction too late.
Murray away. Will trickle through to Gallagher. She gets the first touch. Could be a 2-on-1 here. Glasgow City trying to get defenders back. Amy Gallagher. Adams in the middle. Gallagher tries to go around Jenna Clark, but Jenna Clark does just right to put that one out for a corner.
Fantastic recovery challenge there by Jenna Clark, but as you can see, this last kind of 60 seconds or so, the game becoming extremely stretched, and we're seeing back-to-back counter-attacks for both teams.
Players waiting in the penalty area as Rachel Boyle moves up to take the corner kick. Joelle Murray and Leah Eddy join from the back. Can Hibernian find a goal to go in the lead against Glasgow City? The train of Hibernian players await. Runs made, cleared away at the front. Chance for Kavanagh, away it goes. Couple of shouts. Morrison out to Boyle. Hibs still have everyone up. There's for Adams, but then Love cuts it out.
Fantastic second phase there, and I think if that ball actually comes across, Ailey Adams might have had a 3-4 yard tap-in from there.
Hands on the head of Ailey Adams. She almost had the opportunity Hibernian were looking for. Is there to be another? Boyce, Eddy, Murray all ready to make the run. Is loose. Alexander tried to pounce on it, cleared away.
Another fantastic delivery there by Rachel Boyle.
Logic looking to spring the quick counter. Kavanagh, Boyle. Hibernian come again, diagonal looking for Boyce, and that will go through to Lee Alexander. And for what was a tight, nervy, tense period of the match, is starting to open up between the two old foes, Glasgow City and Hibernian. Wojcik. Vic finds Foley. Has the run on Morrison. To Morrison. Gets it away. Cavan under pressure. Chinchilla tries to jink past one, past two. It's still Priscilla Chinchilla. Miki, who will get the all-important breakthrough. Robertson, across goal, away from Murray. Wojcik again, and that threatened, but it flashed over the crossbar.
Some really good combination play there between the Glasgow City players, but again, fantastic last-ditch block by Joelle Murray.
Robertson with the right idea. Murray putting her body on the line, and that wasn't far away as Glasgow City start to edge closer. Just under 20 minutes remain between these two. Hibernian have the free kick, and Ross Hardy wants a word with Kaylee Miki. A little bit of one taking one for the team there, just trying to stop the build-up of play, Pauline.
Yeah, she certainly has. It's an experienced foul there, shall we say, by Kaylee Miki.
Leah Eddy with the free kick. Foley away. Colville. Notley now. Foley finds Chinchilla. City come forward yet again. Boyle gets in. Wojcik. And Foley can't keep that one in play. What a shift has been put in by Rachel Boyle and the rest of her Hibernian teammates. Adams giving it chase. From Vic back to Alexander. Pressure still on the City goalkeeper. Can play from the Scotland international. And now here's Jenna Clark. Kaylee Miki. Away from Eddy.
Fantastic covering again there by Leah Eddy.
Janine Van Vick, as the rain gets even heavier here at Broadwood. Eddie steps up for Hibernian. Gallagher looking to cut City open. The run from Kirsty Morrison. Takes it down on the head. Looks for Adams. Can't get it through. Shouts of handball from Dean Gibson and Hibernian staff. Nothing given. Glasgow City looking to build once more. Foley. Hayley Lauder. Chinchilla in front. Receives the pass. Back inside for Hayley Lauder. Colville behind Murray. Can't get the crossover cleanly, and Glasgow City have the corner kick.
Game really starting to open up here, Stuart, and probably really good opportunities within the last 15-20 minutes of the game for both teams as a result.
Hibernian with everyone back in the box once more. The organisation begins. In comes the corner. Clark with the header. Comes off the head of Joe Murray last. And another corner for Glasgow City to threaten. Chinchilla will set up that wicked delivery yet again. Clark with the header again. Can't get it on target, and that was close. But the connection just not right for Jenna Clark in Glasgow City.
Yeah, I think Carla Boyce does well to track as well, but yeah, you can definitely see that the target there is Jenna Clark, and I think if she does get a contact there, it would have been difficult to keep it out from such close range.
And Hibernian making their first change of the afternoon. Shannon Leisman, who started on Wednesday against Rangers. She was replaced in the starting lineup by Carla Boyce, and that is the substitution made in reverse by Dean Gibson and Hibernian coaching staff.
I think Carla Boyce has worked tirelessly for her team today, Stuart, and it's probably just trying to freshen things up and ensure that, worst case scenario, Hibernian take at least 1 point from today's fixture.
And that will be a big point for Dean Gibson and his side. But he will be very impressed with the performance. He's said already the side's performances against the top three have been strong. It's been another strong outing this afternoon. Will Hibernian have something to show for it? And will that spark more excitement in this SWPL 1 title race? I've said a few times already this afternoon, the old foes competing for cups, competing at the top of the SWPL 1 table usually. Will it be Hibs to have a say? Clark sliding challenge prevents Gallagher. And that's good work from Chinchilla, keeping that one in play, but putting it out for the throw.
Another good pattern of play there from Hibernian, and again, very good defending by Jenna Clark, and Chinchilla desperate not to concede another corner.
Adams lays off for Boyle, tries to trick her way past Chinchilla, can't do so, but will take the throw in. Great position for Hibernian to have possession. Adams receives. Boyle swings it in. Morrison looking to cause a problem. Gallagher catches it. Alexander gets it going. Robertson runs forward and smashed away by Ellis Notley. You can hear that one clatter off the seats in front of us. I think Ellis Notley's eyes were wide open there when she saw the ball played in front of Nicole Robertson. Van Vick. Hayley Lauder. Fully on the overlap. Muir away. Will it drop for Glasgow City? Cleared by Murray. Jane Van Vick again. Wojcik. Kaylin Meekie into the 6-yard area. Robertson in the front post position with the header, but just can't catch it on target.
A little bit of breathing space for Hibernian, which I'm sure they'll gratefully accept at this moment in time. Still doing so well, defensively, And I think, you know, for me, the least they deserve today is a point out of the game.
Glasgow City started this match with a 4-point lead up at the top of SWPL 1. But Dean Gibson's side may have a say in all that. You see the rain hammering down here. Notley, Leishman, there's a Hibernian player down on the right of your screen, Amy Gallagher, holding her head, and will require some treatment. And that's just an example of both sides have put everything on the line this afternoon, Pauline.
Yeah, they definitely have. I think, you know, the intensity has been brought about by the competitiveness of every player on the pitch, really trying their utmost to win their individual battles.
Scott Booth thinks Glasgow City should have possession. Is there about to be a dampener on Glasgow City's target of a 14th consecutive SWPL 1 title? There's still time to change all that. Chinchilla flicks it over. Wojcik there, can't bring it down, tries to get the toes to it, and the ball trickles over the touchline for another Hibernian goal kick. Wojcik's missed the last 7 games since going off with an injury in mid-April. Is she to be the hero this afternoon for Glasgow City? Or is there a hero to take the 3 points for Hibernian? Robertson for Chinchilla. Again, hitting a wall of green and white, but wins the challenge and wins the free kick.
She's been such a thorn in the side of this Hibernian side this afternoon, hasn't she? Just her technical ability, and also the way that she moves effortlessly when on the ball.
Clark tries to get it through. Wojcik cleans up. Kaylin Meekie looking to get the cross in. Wojcik well to the back post, headed away by Leishman. Foley trying to keep it alive. Great work from Gallagher. Up towards Adams. Van Vick slides in. Hibernian throw. Again, another example of how fiery this contest has been.
It's a 0-0 at this moment, Stuart, but it certainly doesn't feel like it, you know, in terms of the competitiveness and the desire of both teams to try and secure the 3 points this afternoon.
Cole Robertson, back to Kaylin Meekie. Janine Van Vick in space. Colville in front. Back to goal. And a job on her hands there, trying to collect that. Ball forward, Ailey Adams will chase, as she's done all afternoon. And Clark,
been a great individual performance by Ailey Adams. Really been impressed with the way she's led the line for Hibernian defensively, and always been an out ball for them in those transitional moments.
Janine Van Vick finds Wojcik. Meekie on the right. Can she get the cross in? Nobody there for Glasgow City. Murray clears. Meekie again. May try to switch sides here. Van Vick with a couple of shouts. Dispossessed by Gallagher. Can Hibs go on the attack here? Ailey Adams. Pushed away by Jenna Clark, but receives the foul.
Does really well again to protect the ball there for our team, and also win a foul, and again another little bit of breathing space for Hibernian.
As time ticks by, not so long ago there was a game just as tight between the two sides. The SWPL League Cup final in 2019 finished 0-0 at the Pennycar Stadium. Hibernian claimed that trophy on penalties. Colette Kavanagh here for Hibernian. Across, City can't get it away. Alexander picks up, and another example of that Hibernian tack down the left side.
Yeah, it definitely was. I think Colette Kavanagh maybe just picks the wrong option there. I think Shannon Leishman is free at the back post as opposed to the cutback.
Chinchilla for Love. City captain out to Kayla Meekie. Wojcik picks up. Nicole Robertson looking to work some space. Uses Kayla Meekie again. Joe Love looks up. Can't find a pass. Has to turn back. That's how good Hibernian have been in defence this afternoon. Foley. Again, can't find the space. Leishman stays strong and over for the Glasgow City corner. Will this be the chance for the league leaders?
So important for Hibernian to remain really concentrated and focused at this point in the game.
Headed away at the front by Ailey Adams. Another example of the job today from her, as Pauline spoke about earlier. Meekie forced back. Alexander will ask for options either side. Chinchilla looking long for Colville. Robertson's only City player in the penalty area as it stands. Foley swings in towards Robertson, and much falls to the ground, and will just allow some more seconds to tick by for Hibernian. Robertson always had a chase on to get there first. Jenna Clark deals with that. Leah Eddy concedes the throw. Had a tough time with injury in the 2019 season, Leah Eddy. She's had a strong run of games this season. Done a terrific job in defence this afternoon. Gallagher dispossesses Lauder. On the run. And Robertson's challenge illegal. And Hibernian happy to accept the free kick. Yellow card for Nicole Robertson.
I think a little bit of frustration setting in there on Nicole Robertson as well. It's again good work by Amy Gallagher, and she actually does well to step across Robertson, which potentially forces that foul.
Can Hibernian have one last attack? May still be the chance as Morrison happy to concede the throw down in that area. Last touch off Lauder. Motley aware of that and will allow Amy Muir to step over to throw the ball back into play. Kavanagh and Adams ahead. Ailey Adams receives, chased by three orange shirts. Amy Muir now. Hayley Lauder.
Great recovery by Amy Muir there.
Muir wins. Ball sticks for her, through to Kavanagh, behind the defence, and the flag goes up on the far side. The ball trickling over the line, but it won't stand as the assistant on the far side raises a flag, and Colette Kavanagh just ran a little too early.
Fantastic recovery, like I was saying, by Amy Muir there, and she finds the perfect pass, but just, you know, unfortunately, like you say, Colette Kavanagh is just edged offside.
Janine Van Vick leads. Foley, three in the area. More making their way in now. Van Vick. Can she deliver? Gallagher hits it away. Foley having to retrieve the ball herself. Everyone in the Hibernian half as it stands, apart from Lee Alexander. Chinchilla moving through, wins the free kick. And the referee back to the back pocket again, Ross Hardy. And that one shown to Amy Gallagher.
very fortunate at this moment for Hibs that was outside the box, Stuart, but we've seen it so often, you know, this afternoon from Chinchilla. She's just so difficult to mark, the way that she moves, her agility and the intensity that she plays with.
Chinchilla stands over. Towards Much, punched away. Ball drops over the line and goal kick awarded. And the Hibernian goalkeeper had to do well there to prevent that one getting through into her net.
Yeah, it looked a little bit shaky there for me. She wasn't convincing, but effective all the same.
It's one of those dangerous free kicks where it may not make contact with anyone and you see them trickle into the net without a touch. But as we enter the final minutes, it remains Glasgow City 0, Hibernian 0. And if it stays the same, what an exciting couple of weeks we have ahead in the SWPL 1 title race. Or will it? Colville, long ranger, that one wide, and a bit of unhappiness from the teammates that she didn't pick out a pass instead.
Yeah, it's an adventurous one, and I think, you know, there's players in advance of the ball there, so potentially to take it on a little further might have been the right decision.
The last league draw between the two sides back in May 2018, a 1-1 with Hayley Lauder scoring for Glasgow City. Lizzie Arnott was the goal scorer for Hibs that day. Alexander, Clark, space in front, Foley, Hayley Lauder, forced back, ball forward, Foley can't take them in, take that one in. And Hibernian have the throw again. Dean Gibson drenched, but he won't mind if his side can take a point from this afternoon. Still time for Hibernian to keep up that strong, solid defensive performance. Glasgow City will come again. Van Vick looks for Lauder, header on, away from Joel Murray. Chinchilla tries to turn. Gallagher, she has Adams ahead, the ball through. Amy Adams against Alexander, and Lee Alexander comes out on top. What a finish we have here between Glasgow City and Hibernian. Lee Adams is down in attack. Chinchilla continues. Foley. Space on that wing if she can get past Leishman. She does. Looks up. Joe Love. Long range effort. Over the bar, but not far away from Glasgow City captain Joe Love.
If you want it to fall to anybody outside the box, it's potentially Joe Love. But, you know, just seconds before there, very unfortunate. I think young Hayley Adams, as the ball is played, actually doesn't realise that she's in her own half and checks back. Otherwise, she might have actually been able to get there before Lee Alexander.
Hibernian take on Celtic on Wednesday. 7:15 kick-off. Glasgow City take on Hearts. That one on BBC Alba. Only move into that with 3 points. They will try, but Miki can't get there. Remember all the action from all today's games on SWPL 1 Sports Scene tonight at 8:15 on the BBC Scotland channel. But there will be no goals from this tie between Glasgow City and Hibernian. There was certainly a lot of action between the two rivals that have dominated so much of Scottish women's football in recent years. And that's the exact way it looked on the field of play this afternoon. Both sides, despite the gap in points between them in the SWPL 1 league table, both sets of players throwing everything at this afternoon's game. There wasn't many clear-cut chances in the first half. Leah Eddy had an early header for Hibernian. Hayley Lauder with a turning shot for Glasgow City went over the bar. In the second half, Maddie Fulton had an effort. Chinchilla put an effort on goal. And Jenna Clark couldn't quite make the connection with a header from a corner to pose any threat. to Emily Much on the Hibernian line. And with the way results have gone towards the top of the table this afternoon, there's a bit of a reshuffle, but it promises to be an exciting couple of weeks into the run-in in the SWPL 1 final stage of the league season. It finishes here at Broadwood. Glasgow City 0, Hibernian 0.
Well, a goalless draw here at Broadwood between Glasgow City and Hibernian, but what a match, Pauline. Probably a result we maybe weren't expecting at the start of this game.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, we spoke about it earlier. Hibernian have got a really, really small squad, so these kind of back-to-back midweek fixtures has been extremely challenging for them. But, you know, a fantastic performance, and I think, you know, both the game plan and the execution were exemplary by Hibs today.
And what an intense second half. What did you make of that?
Yeah, it was really intense, and I don't think, you know, I've ever watched it as an exciting 0-0 draw. But, you know, full credit to Hibernian. They had a game plan, they stuck to it, and will probably feel maybe a little aggrieved that they weren't able to take all 3 points in today's tie.
And it does feel quite surprising that it is a goalless draw, because especially in that second half you were expecting either side to score at any minute.
Yeah, you absolutely were, and I think, you know, as we spoke about the back-to-back fixtures and maybe the size of the pitch led to the game being maybe much open earlier in the second half. So ability of teams to kind of exploit the spaces that occurred, and I think that we've seen that in the way that we ended up with back-to-back counter-attacks on numerous occasions.
And what about Glasgow City? How will they be feeling now? Not a result that they were expecting, I can imagine.
No, I think they'll be extremely frustrated because, especially in the first half, they really dominated the possession of the ball, but were just unable to break down that Hibs compact defensive unit. And, you know, that's the challenges that you're faced with. You know, people might say that the Hibernian game plan is not exciting football they're playing and it's not good to watch. However, they've achieved the outcome today and have secured at least a minimum of 1 point from today's game.
Well, do you feel like this Hibs team are maybe finally coming together, maybe a little too late in the season, but we are starting to see some better results from them?
Yeah, potentially. I think for me, you know, in terms of the 11-12 on the pitch today for Hibs, everybody was a minimum 7, and I think that helps, you know, when you're playing against a top side. But like you say, maybe just a little bit too little too late, but I think some really good individual performances today, especially by some of the young players in that Hibs lineup, Leah Eddy, Ailey Adams, and, you know, the energy that Colette Kavanagh also brings to their team.
Well, I mean, for Hibs, they've won 7, lost 9, but drawn 2 now. There are still 3 games left. They move into 5th, but you hope kind of with the next 3 games they can come back into form.
Yep, and I'm sure that will be what they're looking to achieve. It's been visible on Twitter on many occasions, you know, that Edinburgh fight for 4th place. So, yeah, no, a great step in that direction today and a great performance by Hibernian.
Well, the Hibernian head coach Dean Gibson does join us now. Sorry, you're caught in the rain, obviously. I mean, what a match today. A goalless draw. What did you make of that?
Probably the most exciting goalless draw I've been involved in for a long time. So it was end to end. I'm pretty sure Scott will feel the same as me. Maybe they think they should have won the game. We think we should have took more of today, and I'm just proud of the girls and I'm delighted for them. I think we've had a bit of hard time in these games. People have questioned us sitting in, but we're sitting in to keep ourselves in games, to give ourselves a chance to win them, and today we had a real chance of doing that. Wednesday, I think, again, we played well, but we just need to improve slightly when we get to the edge of our team's box, and if we can improve that going into next season, I think we've got a real good chance of really competing next year.
Well, it was end-to-end, and like we were just saying, Pauline, I mean, we were expecting a goal at any point in that second half.
So did we, and I know, I mean, we surrender possession on purpose, so I know Glasgow City have got a lot of possession, and the girls have to work hard, but we just want them to start getting a little bit of a reward for their hard work, and if they got a goal today, that would have probably been nice on the cake for them, so I can't fault them.
I think actually when you look back at it, Dean, I don't know if you noticed it, but that last counter-attacking chance, Ailey Adams doesn't realise that she's actually in her own half, and she steps back before she goes forward, which she doesn't actually have to do, and maybe she would have then got to the ball first.
I think so. I think it's our instincts to keep herself inside, but as you say, if she just realised where she was, and nobody was near her, there was no Glasgow City centre-backs around her, so it was a strange end to the game, and I think maybe a little bit of tiredness maybe played. I think if that was the first 20 minutes, Ailey maybe even catches the ball, but I think in the last sort of 5 minutes, she's probably too tired as well, so I can't fault them.
Can I ask you what you think of her performance today? She's a young player, and she's been put, you know, kind of into big games, and I think, you know, for me today, I know what I've seen, but how did you think she played?
just like an experienced international footballer. Like she holds the ball up, she runs the line. She's playing against Van Wyk, who's played I don't know how many international games. Jenna Clark, who's a big presence, and they'll know they've run a game today. And for somebody so young to play the way she does, the world's at Ailey's feet, and she knows what I think here. She knows what the club thinks here, and it's up to Ailey how far she wants to go in this game, because if she keeps playing like that, she's not going to be short of suitors.
Yeah, I would agree.
Colette Kavanagh, I mean, she's another player that we were talking about earlier who impressed you. I mean, I imagine she's a player on the pitch you're happy with as well.
If you had 11 Colette Kavanaghs, you'd be top of the league. She's so off the cuff, and for me, Cav's a player who frustrates you at times, and you want to kind of strangle her, but see for what she gives you for the other 85%, she's outstanding. And like I say, she's sometimes too enthusiastic, but when she gets it right, she must be an absolute nightmare to play against. I certainly wouldn't want to play against Cav.
Well, she's extremely tenacious, isn't she? And like you say, it motivates the players around her. But I've really liked, your movement of her and put her in the middle of the pitch, because that's exactly what she gives you.
Yeah.
And I think she's been exceptional the last 3 games that I've seen her.
I think for us, because we've had so many games in a short period of time with quite a small squad, we've had to kind of move the players around, and Cav's the one that's still got that energy. For Cav, it probably still feels like the start of the season. She goes into every game with a bundle of energy. I keep asking her through games, Cav, are you alright? And she kind of looks at me as if I'm daft, as if to say, what are you talking about? And it's like, well, you've done that much running. But I think Cav's given us so much right now, and she's another one that has got so much talent, so much ability, and I genuinely believe that Cav could kick on as well.
The performance from Hibernian today, I mean, what does that do for the season that you've had? I mean, what a change from the past couple of months.
I think, I don't know what it was, and I know I do sound like a broken record, but for me it has been luck of the green at times with us in a lot of games, and you've seen it today, just when we get to the edge of the box we seem to panic a little bit, and we can't kind of put our finger on it. You've got to remember, we lost Shannon McGregor, who's a big player for us as a number 10, and we've not got a big squad, so we're having to do more defensively to allow us to then play the same squad in a number of games. So we're trying to reduce the amount of running they're doing, so maybe that's affected us at the top end of the pitch as well. And for us, I think that's been a large part of the season, is rugby the green's not been for us. And take the Hearts game for example, they hit one shot on our goal that whole game, we lost it 1-0, and it looks bad and it doesn't look great, but the reality is if we took even 20% of our chances that game, we won it 3 or 4-1. So I don't know what it is, and for us, we've certainly never lost confidence, because we know the games that we've played, we've always had chances and we've always had an opportunity to win. What we have improved on though is how solid we look defensively. We look a real unit now, and we're a very hard team to beat, I think.
Well, there are still 3 games left in this season. You do drop down to 5th, that's due to Spartans winning against Forfar Farmington today. You face Celtic on Wednesday. How do you feel about that? I mean, they're just off a 2-1 win over Rangers.
Did they win?
Yes, they did.
No, I didn't know that, but I mean, they're going to be fully confident. The games with Celtic have been good games. They've actually been like that. They've been end-to-end, they've been aggressive, they've been proper football games, and if we get the same kind of game, I'm sure it's going to be an exciting one for anyone watching it. And yeah, we're always confident we can win games. We just need to improve when we get that final third, because we're very hard to break down. Can we give Joelle and that a bit of a break by scoring a goal and take the pressure off them?
I think late on, I think it was it Colette Kavanagh that actually finds herself free at the kind of 6-yard line, and I think she just picks the wrong option. She looks for the cut back, but actually Shannon Leachman's free at the back post.
Yeah.
And again, you're saying, maybe is it concentration, because she's so fatigued at that point in the latter stages of the game?
You know what it is with Cav? She takes everything you say right on board, and whatever you ask her to do, she'll do. For example, on Wednesday we said, can we start testing Jenna a bit more and Cav shooting from the halfway line? So all season we've moaned at the players for not cutting the ball back. So today the time's not to cut it back, and that's what she does. So I think it's just they do have a belief in us, I think, or a hope, and I think that's probably what's done us in that scenario there, is Cav just listening to what we said. Maybe we should shut up.
Not at all. I mean, the thing is, a game like today is so intense. It's been really intense for the last couple of weeks with all the midweek fixtures and the weekend fixtures. You do have another midweek one. How are the players feeling? What's the kind of morale around the squad?
Well, you ask them, the same players are playing week in, week out, and I'm asking them through the games, I'm asking them before the game, are you alright? Can you give us another game? Can you give us another 90 minutes? And again, they just want to keep going. I don't think they want the season to end. I think because we've had such a big break over the course of COVID and stop-start, that the players are just enjoying playing football now. So I really don't think that anything's going to affect them from now to the end of the season, albeit maybe a couple of injuries might get in the way. But if there's no injuries, the same players will just want to keep playing and playing again. And I've got players like Siobhan Hunter. I'm trying to get back on the pitch, I'm trying to get her minutes, and it's hard to do because you've got Leah Eddy, who's waiting centre back, and she's playing outstanding alongside Joelle. So in games like that, it's hard to make subs. It's hard to change your backline in games like that as well.
You just took the words right out of my mouth there, because I think that, since you've moved Leah Eddy back into that back line, she probably looks out the centre backs that you've got the most comfortable on the left. And I think for me today, she was exceptional, not just defensively, but her ability and her positivity on the ball to break lines was fantastic to see.
We call her a Rolls Royce. That's what we think. Like she's an absolute Rolls Royce at centre back, and playing alongside Joelle's experience and influence is going to help. And it's the same with Shiv. If Shiv was in there beside her, we get the same thing. So Leah Eddy's been outstanding. I don't think I played her as a number 10 the first game of the season away, but I don't know how long ago at Spartans, and she got our man of the match. We played her as a holder, we played her as a centre back. It doesn't seem to matter where we play her. She just gets on with it, and it's her understanding of the game second to none.
And the game was fantastic.
It doesn't matter where you play Leah. She'll give you a 8 or 9 out of 10 performance every single week.
With just 3 games left, Dean, I mean, it is going to be difficult to break into the top 3 at least. Do you think you're going to use this time now to kind of get the squad ready for next season and really pushing it for those top spots?
For us, that's what we've been doing since we kind of got the go-ahead that we were returning. Everything's been about the return, next season, and we knew that the Champions League positions out. I know people keep saying about the top 4. If I'm being honest, I'd like to finish the top 4 because it means we're winning more games than we're losing. But if you finish 4th but you're miles off the 3rd, it's like, you don't get a reward for that. When we were calling it a top 4 at the start, it's because we wanted to make it a top 4. I think this year it's been a top 3. So once we got the return and the return date and we came back, everything's building blocks for next season. And I hope everyone can see the difference defensively. And then from pre-season on, it's right, we keep that defensive unit, but can we now improve going the other way? And I think we've started the building blocks now, and we've got players coming in as well, so we're only going to get stronger.
Great, well thanks so much for joining us, Dean, and congratulations, I suppose, on your draw today.
I'll take it. It's better than defeat.
Great,
thank you.
Well
Cheers. Cheers.
Pauline, I mean, what another result here at Broadwood, another unbelievable result for Celtic against Rangers. Again, the league's just kind of blown wide open.
Yeah, it's so unpredictable and so competitive, and that's what makes it so exciting. So, you know, these last 3 games that are going to bring us the same excitement as we've had predominantly most of the season.
Great, well thanks so much. And thank you for joining us this afternoon. It was Glasgow City 0, Hibernian 0 here at Broadwood. You can watch highlights of all 4 of today's games on the BBC Scotland channel at 8:30. Now there is another midweek full card. You can watch Glasgow City versus Hearts live on BBC Alba. Kick-off then is at 7:30. Now do join us next week. We'll have more live SWPL 1 coverage, but until then, have a very good evening.